Hi, it's Paul from Model Builder International. Don't forget, there's buttons down there to subscribe to the channel and also click on the bell to get notified of when the videos appear. Those are videos for reviews, giveaways, and I'm hoping to get some build videos done this year as well. So today we're looking at something we sell in our shop. This is a kit from ClearProp. This is a double kit. There's two kits in the box, one 144th scale, the Ki-51 Sonia. Okay, let's see what we get inside the box. First off, this is a Ki-51 Sonia, this time in 144th scale, CP144001. This is a starter kit, so I'm not expecting any resin or photo etch in here. Two kits in the box. On the side we've got 4 decal options. The tails there make me think that for each of these decal options there was two variants, 2 aircraft from each of those units, so probably 8 options in total. Looks like photos of the completed kit. 37 plastic parts, and let's have a look inside. So this is the instructions. Colours used as always called out in Mr. Colour, AK Interactive and named. Should end up with an aircraft about 8 centimetres in span, 6.5 centimetres long. I did say 37, yeah, 37 plastic parts. What do we? 3 sprues. One of them clear, decal sheet, instructions following their usual format, they're nicely labelled, colours are called out, nice detail on the cockpit sidewalls for this scale. So the whole thing goes together in 8 steps. Yeah, that's the bonus painting scheme. So basically, here's the 4 options. What you've got is, if you notice the tail emblem on each, you've got an extra tail emblem for each of them as well. So you actually have 8 decal options. There's those on the back. The other kits. We've reviewed, in fact, all of them now. The only one we haven't is the Sea Sprite, because I don't think that one's quite been released yet, but should be coming soon. So let's have a look inside the bag. Looks like a usual Ziploc type bag. There's your decals with the bonus decal sheet. In actual fact, it's one big sprue here. Let's have a look. There's nice detail on the wing tops. I can feel them with my nails, but not with my finger. Propeller, cylinder heads on the engine. Looks to be in places just, should we say, a shrunk down version of their 172nd kit, which had nice detail in itself. Fuselage halves, again nice detail. Rudder is one piece. Again, no pins to line things up as with their bigger kits. Undercarriage spats are all one piece with the wheels in them. Nice detail on the inside walls there. That'll look nice. So let's have a look at the wings are clear, obviously, and the canopies are clear. One piece top wing, again fine recessed detail, which I can't feel with my fingers, but I can feel it with my nails. Canopies, a couple of small parts to go on there as well. That looks nice. Decals, let's have a look. So we can get the reflection right. There's very little backing film apart from where you'd expect the backing film to hold things together, such as these lines here and the details over here. They look nice. There's something where they're printed in the corner there, but I can't read it. So I'll probably be able to see that on the when I scan these and put photographs. So there'll be photographs of all this, scans of everything will be on the website. Let's have a quick look at the instructions and a close-up look at some of the parts. The Mitsubishi Ki-51, allied nickname Sonia, was a light bomber dive bomber in service with the Japanese Army during World War II. First flew in mid-1939 and was initially deployed against Chinese forces. However, it proved to be too slow to hold up against the fighter aircraft of the other Allied powers. However, it performed a useful ground attack role in the China, Burma and Indian theatres, notably from airfields too rough for many other aircraft. As the war drew to a close, they started being used in kamikaze attacks, and total production was around 2,385. An interesting fact, on the day that Hiroshima was destroyed by the atomic bomb, 2 Ki-51s were responsible for the last Japanese sinking of a US warship, sinking USS Bullhead. As for other kits of this aircraft in the same scale, the only one I can find is an F-Toys release that was around 2010. Other than that, I don't know of any kits in this scale. In the box there's 37 plastic parts, there's a decal sheet, and there's a full colour 7-page glossy paper instruction sheet. Okay, let's start with the build. Step 1 is essentially the cockpit floor and everything that attaches to it. As you can see, the instructions have colour callouts for everything. It's quite a nicely detailed cockpit floor. If you want to look carefully through the canopy, you'll see some nice details here. Then on the next page, starting at step 2, which is detailing the cockpit wall on the port side. The details are all moulded on already. There's some nice detail there. Essentially what you're doing here is you're doing some painting, obviously some washes, weathering as well, but essentially there's also a few decals that go in here to represent instrument panel faces and details. Step 3, essentially doing the same thing on the starboard sidewall. Again, I think the only thing you actually add is a decal, and other than that it's some careful painting to bring out the details. Before you move down to step 4, where we sandwich together the port and starboard fuselage halves, trapping the cockpit floor we did in step 1 between them. Note the rudder is completely on the port side half of the fuselage. The engine gets trapped in here as well. There's some nice detail on that for this scale as well. The top of the fuselage, basically covering up the cockpit, that goes on here as well. A few more details get added. You've got a decal for the instrument panel, a few more decals to go in for instruments in other places. All in all, for this scale, you're going to end up with a very nicely detailed cockpit and some detail on the engines. So you've not got a plain, boring, simplified 1/44 scale kit. Over the page, steps 5 and 6. Step 5, we put the big bits together, the fuselage, elevators at the back, and the wings. It's a single piece plastic top wing, and it's a clear plastic bottom part of the wing. Okay, it's clear plastic because it doesn't show this on the diagram, but there's actually a window in the bottom wing where they can see out through the bottom. It's not indicated on here, but it's a little square towards the back of the wing, so you need to cover that up before you paint. Moving down to step 6, you add the underwing bomb racks. The thing I'll mention here is it's not awfully clear exactly where those bombs are going to sit, and there's no indentations or recesses, holes for them to slot into. So before you do step 5, you might need to just drill some little holes or work something out so you're going to fit them right. At this stage, again, goes on the undercarriage legs. Undercarriage legs are complete. The spat and the wheel is one part, so Might need to paint the wheels first and cover them before you put them on there. It is indicated where those go. And last thing on step 6 is adding the tail wheel. On the next page, step 7, you get a choice of 2 propeller hubs. It's the same propeller, different hubs. You use part A22 for painting scheme 1, part A21 for all the other painting schemes. Down to step 8, finish off the build, fit the propeller, a couple of small parts on the port wing, fit the canopy. There's no masking sheets for this, so you need some careful masking to get that painted, and then your build is complete. Okay, paints and decals. The paints are all called out in the Mr. Colour and the AK Interactive range. They're also named as well. The only name that sort of throws me a bit is the one called Propeller Colour. Since obviously propellers can come in various colours, it sort of doesn't help much. The painting schemes, essentially you've got, as you say, they say there's 8 decal schemes, which there is, but basically it's 4 basic painting schemes with 2 decal options for each painting scheme. Basically it's 4 aircraft, one from 4 different squadrons, with you get a choice of 2 tail options, or the decals that go on the tail for each of them. 2 of them are mostly unpainted silver, and then a couple of them have some green blotchy camouflage, and one of them looks pretty complex as well, and it would be tough to do this in 1/44th, but it would certainly look good. But than that, the decals look good, and the painting guides are good enough to give you everything you're going to need. Okay, so an overall conclusion. First off, it's a modern 1/44th scale kit with lots of nice detail in it. It's not, as you see, some of the older 1/44th kits were just hugely simplified 1/72nd scale kits with minimal detail in them. This one has plenty in there. If you want to go further, you could add more details. You could open up the engine cowlings, and there's an engine there to look at. You could open the canopy to give a better look inside, and there's plenty of detail in there for you to look at. So it's very nice. It's the 2 kits in the box, which is a nice touch. So overall, it's a very nice little kit. You could probably get it together in a day, quite easy enough. And don't forget, it's available from online in our shop.